I don't want to think, but still thinking is happening. I don't want to understand what's going on around, but still somehow there is a general understanding. I don't want to be somewhere, but somehow I am part of. I just don't want to link myself with the rhythm, what's going on, the what's surrounding about. But still somehow I am over there. I quite don't understand these things. The identity, how I know myself about my gender, about my race, about my color, about my physique, everything it seems like sometimes it's a given by society. It's quite hard to understand what's my own understanding about the understanding. Right? I just am trying to figure out what I am. I'm just trying to figure out that for what purpose I'm over here. I'm just trying to have a real understanding about the true understanding. I want to think the way I am supposed to thinking. I know there is a constant chatter is going on inside what I don't want. There is a constant understanding going on always about what I don't want to understand. I just don't want to be, but I don't know how I'm still over here. Sometimes I don't feel the passing of air. I don't feel the touch. I don't feel any hearing. I don't feel anything around her. It feels like that I am totally numb. It feels like I just don't have the sensation that time. I don't have those senses. But again, at some moment, everything start feeling. Everything I am able to experience again. This is a constant, like sometime in touch, sometime out of touch. Sometime I'm thinking, sometime I am out of thinking. It's a constant things are going on. These things literally make me confused about the true understanding. These things literally make me think in that way, that how I supposed to really think, and when I'm thinking about these things. So that I understand myself as me, my me. And when I see other person, animal form even, so I believe that if my me is with me, so definitely they also have their me. So how I am linked with their me, how I am, that how I am similar to them, how I can connect my me with their me, or do they also have the same me what they have? Do they also understand the same way how I feel, how I understand? There is a that this thing, there is a deep curiosity inside. I'm trying to find the similarity between my me and their me. What's the difference between my me and what's the difference between the me of animal? Right? The insights of me has become a main reason for search, a main reason to really understand me and my me. And when I keep experiencing life, when I keep thinking about life, when I keep imagining about life in the same way, this becomes a painful condition, a painful situation, so where I don't want to dive into. But again, somehow I am diving into those things where I don't want to understand. Somehow I'm forced to understand those things. I don't want to think about something, so still I am forced to think about that thing. And this thing is very painful thing. The idea I was thinking about my own identity, thinking about my own understanding. This thing has become a painful condition for me. And the identity crisis, I shall say, the identity crisis, the identifying myself, and the identity what I was given by society. As I said already, the different kind of identity about myself. They are pretty, I'm unable to link myself with that identity, I'm unable to find that what true I am about those things, because there are some parameters. When I see the other me, I see my me, I see the me of animal, so I find the similarity in everywhere. So how are we really different than anyone? my me and the animals in me, my me and the other persons in me. It finds when I try to link with these things, so I find they are similar to each other. And when they are similar to each other, so how I am different than them? So is my identity, what is given by society, is enough to give me understanding about the reality, understanding about myself? It's a matter to think, right? And as I said, the more I think, the more confusing it becomes, the more painful it becomes. And this pain and the confusion, I just don't want to have that. So I stop thinking about it. I just don't want to think anymore. As a child, I remember my first memory. And when I try to understand myself, the first memory goes like my mother lifting me and kissing on my forehead. That's the first, or I shall say the most beginning memory what I can recollect. So did my me started from that memory only? Because I don't know what was before that memory, and I literally have no idea what will be after my memory, or after till the time my memory will work. And having the understanding about that, what I was before that memory. Did my me did not exist, or did my me started from that time, the moment, that memory, the freshest or the first memory of my life, what I recollect? So was that the journey of my me? If that was the journey of my me, so what's now? Because when I was infant at that time, I did not have this kind of thinking what I have today. I did not have this kind of understanding what I have today. My understanding, my thinking, I don't quite recollect. I don't, I just don't quite understand that how I used to think at that time, how I used to understand that time, how I used to feel about the thing that time, how my sensation used to work at that time. But today's condition, they literally are, I shall say, they have become painful when I try to understand my thinking, my imaginations, when I try to understand what is very painful. So I kind of stop understanding. I don't want to understand. I don't want to think anymore. I don't want to be anywhere. It feels like I'm forced to do something what I don't want to do. I'm forced to feel about think what I don't want to think. I am forced to do something what I don't believe personally in. Because until I don't have my own identification, until I don't have my own understanding, until I don't understand this world, so having to do something, to think about something is really a different thing, right? Really a painful situation or painful condition for me as of now. The first memory, what I recollect, as I told about. So after that, the sequence of memories started. I have so many memories since then that my brain sometimes is busy behind those memories. I constantly thinking about those things. I constantly living in past. I constantly feel about those memories. There was a belief in beginning of my life. We used to feel that with time they will fade away. The belief was there that as time will pass, so I will not be able to, I will not have to think like that, the way I was thinking. But as time passes, it feels like, that the idea that I will forget kind of is fading, but those memories are building day by day. The pressure on me, the pressure on my thinking, the pressure on my imagination is going like it's getting piled up. And it's still, it has become a burden to live with now. It has become a burden to feel. Because until I don't know what's a goal, until I don't know what's my identity, until I don't understand about the things, so living in that kind of environment is very painful, very stressful. And if I try to be little positive about, let's not just think a negative outlook. If I feel, well, there is some positive understanding, if I keep a positive understanding, so the positive understanding give me a bit idea. Is this the idea of like thinking, the idea of general understanding, the idea of understanding about my own self. Is this the purpose of life? Because what I feel, what I think, what I imagine, if they have become part of me, that like I can't undo those things. I just can't not know things what are happening automatically. So is it like that I have to become part of this, or is it that this is the only understanding of life? It's the purpose of life. Because as of now, if I try to understand myself, as of now, if I try to feel about myself, it feels like that, because these things which have become my permanent thing. So is this the true purpose of life? Which at least feels a little convincing, which give me a little fact of peace that I will not have to struggle against these things. So is it the purpose of life? Because as of now, I feel about, I try to not know things, I try to not understand things, I try to not think things, but still those things are happening automatically. So it feels like really they are the way how I am supposed to do. It feels like how things are happening automatically. I have to just become part of them. Really, that's the purpose of life. Understanding myself, linking myself with others, really that's the purpose of life. Thinking in the way how I am thinking, understanding in the way how I am understanding, just being with the time, being what I am. I feel it's the purpose. Right? Sometimes that, as I said, I'm unable to link myself with the life. I don't want to be here, but still I'm over here. Probably being over here is my purpose. So with this, thank you for your precious time. Please take care. In the yes, life is purpose. What I conclude finally, life is purpose. You have to be just try to be with the rhythm. You don't have to ignore things. You don't have to go contrary to what's happening naturally. Just try to become part of it. And my journey, it is to understand life. My journey, how much I will understand, I will try to share with you guys. So let's keep it raw, whatever it is. However I express myself, however I put myself. Because I don't want to keep any filter. I don't want to keep any things which are just made of things. I want to keep how I am, the way I am. Like I am sweating. True, yes, I'm sweating because it's too heat. So let's keep it simple in front of you, whatever it is. I don't want to keep any filter. I literally don't care. I just believe in you that you will feel the way how I am feeling about myself. Because after all, love, after all, understanding about life is the main goal. So these things, it does not matter how, in what kind of condition, in what kind of understanding I'm sharing these things. But sharing and being with you gives me comfort. I feel good about it. If I'm able to have little conversation, able to express myself, able to give you little thinking about these things, so I feel comfort about my life. I feel comfort about me. And I'm sure you will understand this. So again, thank you for your precious time. Please take care.